welcome back to the show. I promised one of our next guests that I wouldn't tease him about being hot Santa at Christmas time on our program. You'll have to guess which one. Yeah, that's right.
I'm your hot Santa, aren't I, Fiona? Martin Reeder joining us along with his partner in volleyball, Chaim Schalk. They are the 2010, the reigning beach volleyball national champions. Gentlemen,
Hello.
how are you?
Howdy,
nice
be
to
here.
see you. So, beach volleyball national championships. But Martin, let's start with what just happened with you guys in your career. You just returned from the Dominican Republic.
That's correct. Yeah.
Tell us what happened there.
Okay, we had an Olympic qualifier event down in the Dominican Republic, and we had 2 teams from Canada representing the male side and 2 teams from the women's side.
How'd it go?
Really, really well. We beat USA, we beat Puerto Rico, and we beat Cuba in the finals, and we came out on top. So we won the first Olympic qualifier, and now we're ranked #1 on the continent.
Nice work, Chaim. What is it like for you guys when you're in the midst of something like that and you know that you're on point and you guys are doing that well?
It's huge. There's a lot of pressure on the line. In this last event, we had a thing called a golden set. Basically what happens is we played Cuba in a best-of-5 series with another Canadian team, and we went the distance. So there was 2-2. It was the 2-2 was the overall score. And then we had one set, one small amount of volleyball just to kind of decide the whole thing. So we warmed up for the match. Yeah, it's like the most pressure that Martin and I have felt probably as a team, and just going through that was huge for us.
How do you guys get in the game for that? How do you get your head ready for that and not let the pressure of what, I guess it's a lot like playoff hockey, not let the pressure deter you from thinking about the game?
Really, just we know what we have to do, and we go over in our heads before the match how we're going to execute, and don't think about the outcome, and just go through every single point. And
how much strategy is involved in your sport? I mean, is it different opponents, different strategy, or do you guys sort of have a set strategy that you go with?
Well, since there's only 2 people, you can isolate someone. So it's not like indoor volleyball where there's 6 people and you can kind of hide. There's only 2 of us out there.
Yeah.
You know, so there's nowhere to run.
Stick with your buddy.
Yeah, exactly. So we can serve whoever we want to, and normally there's the blocker, which is me, so the taller individual, and the defender who's normally
So Mike,
shorter.
you would be the blocker for us, right?
Game's the bloody shrimp.
Yeah, I'm tiny.
6'5", he's a small guy.
How tall are you, Mark?
6'7".
6'7".
Now, I've learned...
That's a full, that is a full linear foot taller than
Can
me.
you guys please stand up?
No, not yet.
Yes,
We'll do it
okay,
at the end of the interview. We've heard the term Olympics a couple times for you guys, and Chaim, this is a really big year for you guys. Tell us about that process and what's leading up to 2012 in London.
Yeah, basically the event that we just played in was the Continental Cup. So it was top teams from our continent playing, and basically we'll have one more round of that coming next year. It'll be in June probably of 2012.
Yeah.
The winner of that event will go to the Olympics. So we have now the #1 seed.
Yeah.
That's one way to get into the Olympics. And then we have the FIVB, which is the World Tour, which is where we're headed tomorrow. Actually, we're headed to China to play one of those events. Basically, how that works is that we need to be a top 16 team in the World Tour to get another berth into the Olympics. So.
I did not know how huge volleyball is in the Olympics, and for London, you guys have a pretty sweet venue. After Wills and Kates are done, they're going to build a volleyball court.
We'll get priority on the front steps of Buckingham Palace.
You're not being ironic. You're dead serious. That's where the volleyball cards.
Literally, they're building a 15,000-person stadium on the front step of the palace. We have the best venue. It'll overlook the city. And in years past, it's been the most popular sport at the Olympic Games. So a lot of attention, for sure.
You guys are flying to China tomorrow, and this is part of the World Tour on this one. How hard is it to play in different countries? I mean, the adjustment, first of all, jet lag, fatigue, food, like there's a lot of stuff for you guys to think about.
Well, the 30-pound bag of protein that we bring with us to countries, that
That's
helps
your
out.
checked luggage.
Yeah, exactly. Luckily, there's no dogs that sniff for protein, but we honestly, every country is a new place to adjust. New food, time zones clearly, and temperature as well. Like the Dominican Republic was pretty hot.
And do you have a big
humid.
support team that travels with you guys, or is it just the two
You and your
of you?
suitcases.
You're looking
Basically
at
us, yeah. We had some support in our last event because it was an Olympic qualifier.
Yeah.
So we had a coach, we had a trainer, we had an assistant coach, and we had someone giving us therapy, which was huge for us.
Yeah.
Only because that's an Olympic event, though. So that Canada doesn't really have the funding.
Then we don't care. No, but how much time do you guys spend on the road during the year?
quite a bit. I don't really know what
We're leaving tomorrow, and we're not sure when we're coming back. We got a one-way flight, maybe 2-3 months. We'll find a week.
That is one of the most frightening statements I've ever. I've got a one-way ticket.
I don't know where I'm going.
Well, let's just say the last event planned for this season, for the 2011 season, is the Pan American Games in Guadalajara, Mexico, and that is in mid-October. There might be an event in Thailand right after that, but they don't know if it's going to be dual gender.
And when is the event happening in Montreal? Because, of course, we want to see some volleyball happening in Canada.
For sure.
In Quebec City, yeah, that's July, middle of July. I think the 20th to the 25th probably is when the event runs.
Yeah.
That one's going to be crazy because we're actually competing in Moscow 3 days before the tournament starts in Quebec. So I think it's like a 16-hour travel, and we're going to be pretty haggard.
So you'll be right on point.
Yeah, we're going to pop a couple melatonins and just
back to Europe right after the event. So we'll come home for like 5 days. It'll be like a nice trip home.
Well, and you guys
really.
are sort of, I mean, obviously forging new territory for sort of athletes in Canada as well, because this is a sport that has, people know about it in Canada, but obviously it's not at the top of people's list.
Well, actually, you'd be surprised. We had Marquise and John Child, our legendary athletes here in Canada, and they had bronze in the '96 Olympics, where it was induced into the Olympics, and then 2000, I think they got 5th.
Yeah.
In 2004, they got 5th
so there's
as well.
definitely a pattern of.
So we have some greatness in Canada, but still, certainly in our nation, it's not a priority sport.
Well, you guys are just going to have to get to the Olympics in 2012 and take gold.
That's the plan.
Because that'll do it.
That's what makes
a couple of ugly guys like you, it shouldn't be too hard for you to get some attention.
Okay, now you really have to stand
fine.
up.
Stand up, Shorty. Let's see how we roll.
Okay, I'm going to tell you that you can follow Martin and Chaim's efforts by checking out their website or their Twitter. Info's on the screen. Mike, you look like a child.
If you were ever wondering why I didn't follow beach volleyball as a passion in my life, this would probably explain it.
There's a cut and not quite there.
And Chaim just got a haircut too. Normally he's got a larger afro.
Michael is a midget, people. We're going to take a quick break.